Hey everybody, I'm Alex Weaver here with my co-host Samantha Busch, and welcome into
The
InField. Now, the Roval was an exciting time, but we're going to have an exciting show. We're back, and we're going to have Caitlyn Vincey join us from NASCAR on Fox. We're going to take a female-focused dive, which is what the InField is, into all things racing, social media, fashion, fun at the track.
The headlines, the gossip, the drama.
The drama, because there was a lot.
Especially at the Roval. But before we get into all things racing, let's talk about the elephant in the room or the
leopard in the room. We look like the Cheetah Sisters blew up on us. So
we forgot to text each other to plan our outfits for today, and great minds think alike.
Great minds do think alike.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, leopard is hot for fall. But now that we're back after, taking a little break, that 1 week,
Yep.
lot of work.
Yep, so
need some downtime.
we caught up on our nap schedule. Did you sleep at all with Braxton and Piper now?
No.
He's killing you.
Oh yeah, guys, a puppy is like a baby.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work. Didn't fully think that one all the way through, but we are doing good, and let's get into the Roval because there are a lot of people that are not doing good after it.
Let's start with our social media segment, the catch fence. So first up, I tweeted this out at the first part of the week. The 2 words of the weekend, and I created the drink words of the weekend. I'm going to take credit for it, were chicane and turtle. If you heard them less than 20 times, you did not watch NASCAR's coverage very well, because chicane was said like 1,200 times, and turtle was said maybe 800 times.
Minimum. Do you know, before we came on, I asked Kyle, I said, what exactly is chicane? Just so, you know.
The origin of the word, please.
He goes, I have no idea. I think it's French. So we're rolling with that.
Whatever Kyle Busch says about chicane, we'll take it.
I did not get to drink it all yesterday because it was a minimum of 7,000 degrees on the track. I don't know how the guys did it. I think it was hotter now than it was when we were here for the 600.
They talked about it on the race broadcast, and they said you expect it to be hot in June and July. But in the end of September, start of October, why is it so hot? I know. But you pulled it off. You looked good.
Oh, gee, I'm wearing leopard there again.
Yeah, we really like leopard here.
Expand the wardrobe. But there's Brax. He was very excited.
With his sunglasses. What a cutie.
Looking cool. His checkered flag sign.
He's getting big. He's up to your waist now.
Yeah, he is a big kid. But
all right,
all good there.
Next up, we have Chase Elliott. We have to talk about his burnout because
it was epic.
It was the dumb move of the race when he ran into turn 1. And it was the greatest meme of all NASCAR time, because memes weren't a thing way back when.
Correct.
So now Chase Elliott gets the crown of the greatest meme in NASCAR because I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
He just took
I love when he did the burnout and then the car's rolling and he's just running. Yeah. He looks so little running down.
He said he's not that quick-witted, but we think you're quick-witted.
It was great. So congratulations. Not many drivers can wreck and then come back to win. So that was great. Now we're moving into Corey LaJoie, who went out and actually created a turtle on the racetrack.
This was the highlight of my weekend.
What an artist.
What an artist. And it's like tape, and he spray painted the green and then painted it with white. Corey LaJoie.
That was great.
We applaud you.
That was really good.
Next up, we have Sherry Pollux, who did with the Martin Truex and their foundation, Sherry Strong, for Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month and Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. They had the steering wheels on all of the drivers in the garage, which is really great to see
very cool.
Drivers say yes to really any type of charity event, which is awesome.
Speaking of charity event, on Thursday night, we held our Color the Night event to benefit our
Kyle's jacket.
Joy Fund. And yeah, so we had this whole crazy, colorful event. We raised more than we have ever raised before at one of our events. We were over $260,000.
That's awesome.
That was great. And speaking of that jacket, if you guys remember Jay White, he used to drive. He bought it off Kyle at the end of the night and donated to the foundation.
I love seeing Kyle Busch in anything sparkly.
That's going to be his new theme for all the events.
All right, well, Marcus Smith tweeted out these. I didn't have a chance to try one of these.
I wish I did.
I'm obsessed with pickles.
Yes.
So I really wanted this, but it was for the NASCAR fans that are on the keto diet. They created a turkey club, and instead of bread, it's a pickle.
I love that.
Genius.
That was real. I mean, I think I'm going to have to copy that at home.
Yeah, you should. Does Braxton like pickles?
Loves. Him and Kyle drink the pickle juice.
Oh,
I kid you
me
not.
too. I like it.
What is wrong with you people?
It's just good. It's good.
Anyways.
Last week, we actually got introduced to Charlie Meatball Johnson. I think the girls named Charlie here, but this is Jimmy Johnson's new dog. Cutie. He's a puppy. We want him. You may not want him.
I don't. I have a puppy. Love her to pieces, but as I am late coming here today because I'm cleaning up after her all all the time.
Yeah, it's nothing like some dog.
But Braxton's happy.
Oh,
That's what I
yes.
just keep telling myself. So, and here's Tony looking great in his NASCAR Hall of Fame jacket. He got to get measured and fitted for it, and what a stud.
You know, it has to be really cool. You know that you've made it when you get
Yes.
fit for a jacket.
Yes,
It's
so
just
very
really
proud
cool.
of him. He's awesome and deserves to be there.
All right, well, I think it's time to head over and catch up with Caitlyn Vincie from NASCAR on Fox.
Let's do it.
All right, now joining us is Caitlyn Vincie, who's a Fox Sports host of Race Day for the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series and for the Monster Energy Cup Series, reporter on Race Hub, mom, wife, one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. Caitlyn, thank you for being here.
Of course.
Yes, thank you. We were so
Yeah.
excited when you agreed to be on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so to start off, we just want to know, how did you get into all of this?
So I always knew, even when I was in high school, that I wanted to do sports journalism. But once I was in college, I went to my first race. So I kind of went to my first race pretty late in life. I was probably 19. And when I was at the racetrack, I just fell in love with the sport. Like everything about it, I was like, this is really unique. Everything that was going on in the garage area, because I had hot passes, so I could kind of see up close, you know, what was going on with the teams and the competitors. And I thought to myself, I was like, this looks, A, very challenging, and B, I think I want to be a part of it, because I kind of felt like in my head, if I could succeed in racing, that I would have felt like I had really accomplished something, just because I didn't grow up in a racing family. I didn't have a father who was a crew chief. Like, I had no exposure really to the sport at all prior to that, so I had to learn everything from the ground up, which is hard. I mean, it's a very complex sport, I feel like, overall. So in my head, I thought, okay, you know, if I go after this goal, I will really truly feel like I have accomplished something if I can actually make this come to fruition. So that was kind of how I got interested in racing.
Now, I know this story about you, but let's talk about the Langley Speedway days.
Oh,
Because
yes.
you had a green screen, you edited your own videos, you shot
I
your own videos.
remember that.
You were the star of the show.
It sounds kind of crazy when you say it like that. Like I was that person in their mom's basement filming NASCAR reports.
I was impressed you had a green screen.
Yeah, so, well, Langley Speedway started because I actually saw that on Craigslist, that they were looking for a host, you know, a reporter.
On Craigslist?
I did. It was an advertisement on Craigslist that Langley Speedway was doing this, you know, kind of low budget
How
sort
old
of
were
show.
you at the time? You were fairly young.
21.
Okay.
Caitlyn Vincie, Langley Speedway TV. I'm here in the Peninsula Town Center where the K&N Pro East drivers are gathering. I'm joined by Darrell Wallace Jr.
I had just graduated college. So I applied for it, and I had done things while I was in school. I'd done 3 internships. I'd been a writer for a NASCAR column while I was in school. So I had kind of a decent resume, if you will, right out of school, and I just applied for it. And they said yes, so I started working at Langley Speedway every weekend, which, you know, that racetrack, it's a great little short track, grassroots level of racing, but, you know, like Chase Elliott came through there, Bubba Wallace, like some of the stars of our sport now, you know, came through there in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. So it was a great platform for me to kind of begin my career, because it's not a lot of pressure at that level. It's just a good place for you to get your feet wet, kind of get the hang of journalism. But I also simultaneously started filming these reports in my house with a green screen I'd bought and a cheap lighting kit, because I felt like I still needed more experience talking about racing on camera. And
You can still find those on YouTube, by the way.
I know.
stalked you
I've
and
tried
found
to
them.
make some of them private because I don't want people to see some of my early things. But I just was very desperate to find ways to talk about racing on camera, and there were not many opportunities to be had at all. So I started doing that, which was I kind of was able to create a demo reel that I ended up sending to my boss now at Fox many times, till I feel like I practically was like beat him into submission to hire me. But he did end up hiring me at 24 years old. 2012, I started at Speed Channel, which is now Fox Sports 1.
I remember working with you in 2012.
I know.
No joke, we were in Phoenix and they wanted to do a segment on working out while traveling,
Yes.
what that looked like. So I still have the pictures. We're
I
doing
do too.
tricep dips off
Your
the edge of
first
his
year?
head.
This was your
Yeah.
first?
It was, yeah.
First
Oh.
year. So we are so proud of you from workouts in Phoenix with me
That's
to
right.
race day host on the big screen. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. We're very
That was
proud
fun.
of you.
It's funny how the world comes around.
Yeah.
It is. That was for trackside, I remember, and we were in Phoenix, and we were shooting it for like a special little deal about you and Kyle and showing their life away from the track. I'm pretty sure I couldn't even do the workout though. Like
We
it
should
was
have
a
done another
struggle
workout
bus
segment.
for me.
That should have been Caitlyn. Come in workout clothes.
Come work out.
because
Come in
we're
a
gonna-
leopard print workout outfit and work out with
There you
us.
go. Yeah.
Well, we are very proud of you from doing workouts in Phoenix with me to being on race day as a host. You've
Thank
come
you.
a long way with your hard work and determination.
Thank
so
you.
We're very proud of
appreciate
you,
that.
and we want to keep you around for our next segment called
yes.
Girl Talk. It's where we get to see a little more of the girly side of racing, how you balance being a mom, more behind the scenes stuff, family. So let's get right into it.
So Sam mentioned that you are a mom. You're a working
Yes,
mom, which
that's right.
adds to the complication of everything
It
already.
sure does.
But she is a blessing. She's 2 years old, just turned 2 in August. Cadence is my favorite
She's
mini human
adorable.
in the whole world. We're best friends. Caitlyn can attest to this. We literally, we
My
don't
kid
separate.
loves her,
Yeah,
and like
it's
sometimes
weird.
she kind of gives me the cold shoulder, which I don't understand.
Well, that happened the other night when we saw you out to dinner.
Yes, I know.
She came, she was letting me hold her, and they tried to take her back, and she's like, I'm not
Yeah,
going
she
home
was
with
all
you.
about her too.
Cadence is a great judge of character. I'm going to say that.
I
because
think she
loves
is.
me.
She does have a good barometer of like who's cool and who's not.
So what's that like? Talk about with Blake and him being in Colorado while you're pregnant, dealing with that. And then also now you have everything with Fox going on. You're traveling on the circuit and you have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, so it's not really a secret that we were not planning to start a family when we did. And Blake obviously was under contract at the time at Furniture Row Racing. I was under contract at Fox in Charlotte. 2 individuals that have worked for their whole lives to be where they are. So everyone remained in their respective states, even though we had all this other stuff going on. And it was not easy. I think typically when you're having a child, it's a happy time for a couple. It's a special moment, but a lot of it was me, creating the nursery by myself, going to the appointments by myself because he was in Colorado. Even when she was born, he could only be with me 1 day a week.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was stressful. I don't advise it. I don't advise that. But, that's life. You have to adapt to things that happen, and it's a great thing. It was just maybe the timing was very tricky for us. But even now, and as a mother, you constantly feel like something is always kind of not suffering, but you can never truly get everything
Same page.
together at once. I remember you telling me that when I was pregnant, and you were like, you'll always kind of feel like something is
Getting
not
let
always,
down, yeah.
Yeah, and it is hard, and you try your best to balance
Yeah.
it. With Blake, obviously, he's gone almost 16 days a month. And so I feel like a single parent most weekends, because I'm more Charlotte-based now than being on the road with the show in Charlotte. So we obviously have relied on family in the past. We rely on childcare, things like that. But it is a very delicate balance. It's one that I feel like we work at every single day. Every day is different. Some days you feel like, oh, my kid was happy. Everything was good. I didn't cry. The next day, the kid's crying. I'm crying. The house is a mess. It just,
Oh, yeah.
it just kind of depends. But for us, I think it is challenging with both parents working the way that we do in the sport, with him traveling. We just do the best we can with it. But
That's all you can do.
that's all you can do.
Even on social media, you see you taking notes during a race and Cadence's head is above the laptop. So
I know.
It's just,
Because she's
it's a
my
full-time
shadow.
job.
She's always
She is.
there, which is fine. And I don't have a childcare when I'm home. I'm home with her. The only time she's watched with someone is when I'm working. But it is tricky. It really is, because they need your attention all the time,
Oh,
and
yes.
you're trying to delegate and spread it across your job and be focused
And
for
being a
it.
wife,
And being a
yeah.
wife, you got to do that job too. Jeez. So there's a lot of hats that women wear
Yes.
nowadays.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm happy, though, to set that example for my child. I want her to see that both parents can work. That is totally normal. Mom goes to work, dad goes to work, and you kind of set that narrative in your household.
She's the sweetest kid. She loves racing. She always plays with any type of equipment
She
can
does
get,
seem
race
into it,
books.
you know, because they're
I was
exposed
gonna
to
say
it, so it's what they know.
Right,
you
that's
know?
all they know. It's
Right.
We have a
crazy.
future reporter in the making.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Hey,
She'll
maybe
take
a
my
driver.
job, and then I can live off of her money.
Exactly, in the guest house that Caitlyn's built.
That's perfect. Well, speaking of kids and being at the track, and I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong. So,
That's right.
what is your most embarrassing moment with her, either at the track or away?
Okay, so this happened away from the track when she was really young. Blake was on the road, and my neighbors, we had just moved into a new neighborhood, had
The one
invited.
close to me?
Yes, that's right. Our neighbors had invited me and Cadence over just to dinner because I knew I was home alone and the kid was young. So we go, and I realized that she has made a mess in her diaper, like almost instantly when we get there.
Always.
Which is fine, but it was a big situation happening in her diaper. And somehow some of it had come out on the carpet, like where she was
It
sitting.
always happens. I don't know how it comes out,
And
but
I'm
it
like,
does.
how did that seep out? And I'm like, how am I gonna clean this without them noticing? It was truly mortifying. Like I took her to the bathroom, changed her up, got her all good, set her down for her to crawl, and like I'm trying to like, wipe at this spot on the carpet of these people's home that I had just met like a few days prior. It really was embarrassing. I think I got away with it though until they watch this.
Yeah,
then they'll
until
know.
now.
But
Well,
yeah.
as I did say earlier, kids either puke or poop only on carpet,
That's
like
right.
dogs, never tile, never wood.
So true.
Y'all know y'all are not helping me having a kid situation.
It's great.
I really
It
want
is
them.
great.
I love them.
It's just, it's a
Just
lot.
be prepared. Like
I
you
kill-
catch
I kill
vomit in your
plants,
hands, like
though.
it's no big deal. Like literally, you're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I kid you not, I have two good stories, two
Yeah.
mom stories. This is now Brexton's 4.5. You know, he wants to like wipe his own butt, but like I don't trust it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I think you can't trust that fully,
I'm
right?
like in there and I'm wiping him. You know, this is right before pit road, and I'm down there and he poops on me, and I was like, he goes, sorry, more came out. I'm like,
More came
more
out.
came out. Thank you.
And they don't know.
They don't know.
know,
Like,
but
sure
I'm gonna
did.
stick to my fake plants, my succulents that don't require
Those
water,
Yeah.
and that we're gonna call it. a
that
day for a
used to
little
be
while.
me too, though, and I'm so glad that it changed because I'm not sure if I would have pulled the trigger when I did. It's a great thing.
It's
Kids
awesome.
are amazing, but you have it's a job.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
We were on Coach's plane, so Coach is very OCD about his plane. Like you take your shoes off,
Yeah, keep
you,
it
like just have
clean,
water. You know what I mean? Like very, it's his plane.
specific. Yeah.
So we have Brexton on there. He's very young, and another person.
poop story.
No, worse. Another person from JGR who works there was like, I would like to feed him. So he's doing that. I'm like, he's a little finicky. Like you gotta burp him. And he's like, oh, I've had kids. I got it. Okay, we land. Thank you, God. Coach exits the plane, and Kyle picks up Brexton, and it projectile
Oh, gross.
all over Coach's plane, and literally everybody on the plane were like, "You're not even allowed to wear shoes."
Yeah, much less.
It was
Well, Brex just wanted to make his mark.
gosh, and
Yeah.
Kyle and I are down there with like wipies, and
Those are those moments you just can't script it. It's
Nasty.
crazy.
Well, let's switch gears.
Yeah,
From
we could talk about those stories
the nasty
for
baby
Yeah.
stuff.
quite a while.
We want to know if you have a favorite driver or a favorite memory that you've ever done an interview with.
Yes.
Like, has there been one interview that stuck out to you that it was really cool, or man, what a blessed life I have that I get to interview?
Jimmy Johnson, I think, because of everything that he's accomplished in the sport, and all the competitors are, very successful. And truly, anytime I interview any of them, I feel honored to be holding that microphone and being the one to help share the stories of our sport. But
She's
I
being
think,
nice.
Oh no, I mean I'm serious. But Jimmy, I think he's one of those individuals that is always gracious to the media, whether it was a
Yes.
bad race, a good race, somewhere in between. And you look at what the guy's accomplished.
I
and
mean,
he
7
could be,
championships.
He could be different, right?
right.
He could act
He
a
can
little
be arrogant.
different.
He's not at all.
He isn't at all, and I really appreciate that as a media person because our job is hard, and we hate having to put a microphone in their face after they've had a bad race. I don't enjoy that part of it because I can't imagine what it would be like to have a bad TV show and then have to go address the media right after. Like that is tough. But I can appreciate the way he handles himself, and I definitely respect him a lot.
All right. Well, advice for females in the
Yes.
industry. You tell
To
me this
do
a
what
lot.
you do.
Oh yes.
Caitlyn has also been serving as kind of a mentor for me. So she has the person that has started and worked her way up. It's been pretty impressive to see what you've been able to do. So what advice can you give to females coming up in this industry?
I think with our Women in Wheels segment we do with Fox, we've done a great job kind of showcasing the different roles that women hold in the workplace in NASCAR. And through that, I hope to show more people what they can do, what women can do. Because the reality is there is a big disparity in the genders in the garage area. I mean, we're probably outnumbered 30-1, maybe more. So I like to keep pushing that on people so they see it's not a rah-rah female thing, but it's just celebrating the great women we do have in the sport and what they're doing in some really difficult positions. So I think it's important to keep sending that message out there and to help people coming in. You know, when I first came in, it was difficult, not at my place of work, but just in the sport as a whole. I felt like some people were welcoming and some people were not. And that's hard. You know, you want to feel accepted because you're all kind of in this together. There's so few women to begin with. You want to kind of stick together. So I've always tried to be helpful to those coming in. When I found you, I was so excited. I was like a new person.
The first time that we ever really talked in person was at Texas Motor Speedway, and she
right.
came up to me and gave me a hug, and I was like, she's so nice. I love her.
It's important, you know, to obviously help the new people coming in. And it's not easy. It's a hard sport to navigate on your own. I have found it can be very challenging. There's a lot of things about it that are tough. Yep. So I do think that the women should help each other. They should support one another. They should want to see everybody succeed. There's enough room in this sport for all of us, and that's just kind of how I try to be and to carry myself.
You don't have to unscrew a light bulb for yourself to shine. I always say
That's
that.
right.
It's on my
That's
Instagram story the other day.
I think you are such a huge inspiration and role model. I know a lot of women look up to you, and I think it's great what you're doing in our sport.
Thank you. I appreciate
Let's
that.
get into some racing. How you feel about talking about it? Okay, so the round of 12 is coming up for the NASCAR playoffs. Who are you worried about? I was a little worried about the 14. They had a successful day at the Roval. Clint Boyer gets back on track, has a somewhat perfect race other than the fact that he wins. So that's my one that I'm interested to see how the round of 12 progresses for him.
I'm interested to see how things play out for Alex Bowman. Obviously, he had a very eventful Roval weekend.
Oh, yes.
You know, wrecking in practice, those are things that are going to set back your team pretty significantly right out of the get-go. Having to prepare a backup car is a huge undertaking.
Right.
No practice time. Starting at the rear at a road course, not easy, but he was able to get it done. I was very impressed with what he did on Sunday.
And being sick.
Being sick.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, I know he was sick when he got. He was
He had been sick all weekend. Like Friday, he came into the media center and like felt terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
And with that heat, that had to be hard.
Yeah.
Very difficult, for sure. But he didn't make friends along the way. We obviously saw different things happening throughout the course of that race. The last two races, really, which if I'm a driver, I wouldn't want to have that sort of animosity playing out in the playoffs because some of the other people are not in the hunt for a championship. So they maybe don't have as much to lose or as much on the line. So I will be curious to see how things play out for him.
What about successes? Who do you think is shoe in the bag for the round of 12? We have Dover, Talladega, Kansas.
I mean, you can never bet against Kyle Busch, and that's the dang truth.
Well, and Martin. I mean, we've already seen him go out there and win 2 out of 3 races right out of the bat. Harvick, I
thought
mean,
he might have swept this last round.
I did too. I did too. And then Kevin's always
Kevin
good.
Harvick,
You know
he
what
was
I mean?
very strong yesterday. I felt like on every restart, you know, Martin could not seem to hang with him on the restarts. But I mean, the Joe Gibbs racing camp as a whole, obviously Eric Jones has been eliminated after this round, but JGR, I think, has been so strong the whole season at so many different types of racetracks. Denny Hamlin obviously had a lot of bright spots throughout the course of the summer races.
Is that the team to beat for you?
Who?
Joe Gibbs? Is that going to be the organization that's the team to beat for the championship?
I would be inclined to say yes, but like she said, Kevin Harvick, he's another one that you just know he always rises to the occasion.
You can never count them out either.
That's true, because Joey Logano was kind of laying in the weeds this time a year ago and really flipped the switch and was able to get it done when it mattered. So I don't know, anything can happen.
And we have Talladega
We have Talladega looming.
You never can predict.
No,
you can't.
Anything can happen.
And that's what I really love about this playoff format. You know, I feel like it has, of course, been met with some criticism from some people, but it makes it so interesting. And having like the Roval as an elimination race, it plays such a high premium on that race.
I mean, it came down to the last lap.
It came down, you're watching the numbers the whole time. Newman's in, then he's out. Eric Almirola's in, then he's out. And that's great for the fans. That's great for us in the industry, for the media. It makes it really exciting. So
I'm excited to see.
It's hard to predict what could happen in the next round.
telling.
Obviously, people like Kyle have a big points cushion, which is very beneficial.
Right.
Chase added more points, getting the race win. That's going to be critical. So we'll see. I don't know.
A lot of racing left.
I don't have a crystal
ball.
ball.
To talk about the next few weeks.
Yes.
Yes, that's for sure.
Thank you for coming on. We
Oh, thank
appreciate
you so
you.
much
So
for
glad you got
having
to be
me. I
here.
appreciate it.
You can watch Caitlyn on race day and on Race Hub on Fox Sports. She's killing it right now, so pay attention to her. Now we're going to head back over and head into Question Corner.
So now for our next segment, Question Corner. Last episode, we asked you guys to send in your questions with either hashtag the infield or hashtag Ask Alex and Sam, and you guys sent in tons of questions, so we really appreciate it, and here are some of our favorites.
So the first one that we liked was the top 3 things about race day that were our favorite things. So I kind of have an easy one for this one. It's kind of obvious, but my number one thing is on pit road pre-race ceremonies. I really like to see all the families out there, all the kids get to run around with all their dads, which is really cool. They're about to get in a race car. That's awesome that you get to bring your kid and your family to work every single time that you have a race. So that's cool. I also really like the downtime in between. Like driver intros are really crazy. We have driver and crew chief meeting, and then we kind of have a lull before things start getting feisty at the end of stage 1. So that's normally my time to eat. I grab a cup of water and just chill in the media center. And then third, which is easy, is victory lane. I love seeing a driver win. They're always super excited. They're always in the best mood. They always like interviewing with me. Like it.
I would say not our favorite 3 things about race day, because race day can get a little hectic, but about the race weekend is, first of all, it's awesome just to get to go explore as a family. When Kyle wraps up on Fridays or Saturdays, we get to go find a hike, a good restaurant, things like that are great. Another one is just getting to spend time with Brex in the motorhome. Sometimes during the week it could get crazy. He's in all of his activities, so that's just kind of our one-on-one time, and that's really nice. And then, yeah, I'd have to say, a definite pick on race day is when you get to win. I mean, getting to go to victory
Kyle
lane.
never does that.
It's awesome, and I think having Brexton and just seeing his excitement makes victory lane so much better than you ever thought it could even be. So definitely a top pick. Next one. How do you pick an outfit for race day?
This is easy too.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, weather.
Yeah.
That's a definite. And then obviously for me, having a boutique, it's nice to be able to highlight some of the stuff at the store.
So weather's obviously the main thing that we worry about. The Roval was really hot, so you're not going to wear a turtleneck.
Ridiculous.
It was way too hot.
Yeah.
And then also I have to wear closed-toed shoes and
Wait,
long
Jill
pants.
was here last time and said we don't have to wear closed-toed shoes.
Jill gets to do whatever Jill wants, which is she should. But I've never actually tried it, so maybe I'll just try it and be like, Samantha Busch told me to, so you can't get mad at me.
Blame it on me. It's fine.
And then the third question was our favorite thing about NASCAR as a whole.
Definitely the fan engagement and access. I think it's really cool that they get to be down there on pit road before the start of the race, getting autographs, and then truly fans become family. So I have a story. There was this little girl, Lexi. I met her when she was super little. She literally sat on my lap during a late model race, and now she's in college at Purdue, where I went, and we still stay in touch with them. Their family comes out to the races, you know, we send emails, all that stuff, so really fans do become family.
That's awesome. Mine is kind of the same on the family aspect, but it's really just people in the garage and in the industry become your family. Yeah. So we call ourselves the traveling circus, which it really is the traveling circus, but it's also kind of the traveling family. So you're always going to have a familiar face. You're always going to have somebody that has your back. If you ever need anything, you just look for a friendly face and they're right there.
Awesome. And for us, I mean, we actually get to travel with no family.
Yeah,
so.
we have a blessed life that we cannot complain.
Very cool. But thank you guys so much for all of your questions. Again, use hashtag the infield and hashtag Ask Alex and Sam, and maybe you'll see your questions next week.
Yep. All right, now let's head to our next segment, which is Sam's Picks. Now, Sam's Picks is your favorite things to do. You travel a lot and you're at every single racetrack, so you know the best things to do, the best things to eat, the best drinks to have. So the first one I'm going to ask you about is for Dover this weekend. What's your favorite thing to do in Dover besides win?
Well, yeah, besides that, you always want to win. We did win there last year this time, so hoping for that again. But one of our favorite things to go do is to Pfeiffer Orchards. So they have a big fall festival every weekend. It's literally 10 minutes from the track. It's great. They have a cool little general store there too. So get like fresh pumpkin pie and apples, and Brex gets to do all the activities. So that is great. Gets us out of the bus, and it's really fun. So definitely go check it out if you have kids.
I know you also have a favorite place to eat in Dover.
Yeah, so we found this place called Grey Fox Grill, which they turned this old Victorian house that was built in 1881 into this restaurant. And it has great food, just the atmosphere, the vibe, like you walk in the front door and there would have been their formal dining room and the living room, and it has all these tables, great food, great service, also very nice.
Now, I trust you with all of your food recommendations, and it's not at Grey Fox that I can get this, but you showed me and it looks pretty good, so where can they get your favorite thing to eat?
Okay, so it is the strawberry pie from JP's on the Wharf. I kid you not, it is stacked like this high. It's a little local owned restaurant, and she actually makes the pies fresh. She makes her own whipped cream. It is insane, and it's like a serving of fruit, right? So it's healthy.
Now that I'm hungry and I want strawberry pie. All right, so check all those things out in Dover this weekend. You're bound to have fun with the family, and you can get some good food in Dover.
Yes, so up next is our next segment called Victory Lane. Victory Lane is our winners of the week, and this week it's the playoff drivers that made it into the final 12. So we have all the Bs. We have
4 Bs.
Bowman, Boyer, Byron, and Blaney.
I was really impressed with Clint Boyer. He's been trying to have a good week. He had a good week. I really liked it for the 14 camp.
I was impressed with Bowman. I mean, there at the end, he was fighting his way back. He got past Truex and Harvick. I mean, he was fighting for that spot, so that was really impressive. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, well, speaking of congratulations, I guess they're in order because Michael McDowell passed a kidney stone and still got into the car for qualifying on
That's
Friday.
really impressive.
Yeah, we're
very
impressed.
impressive.
Men have been saying that it's kind of like birthing a baby. So you have experience with that. So
I mean, I've never
kidney
passed
stone or baby?
I mean, kidney stones don't have head or shoulders, so
So kidney stone.
I mean,
But we're still impressed.
We're very impressed,
Yes, we
and
are.
that's awesome. I mean, tons of commitment to be able to go out there and do that. And then finally, obviously we took a little break, but over the past few weeks, Christopher Bell and Matt DiBenedetto, we are very, very, very proud of you guys. Congratulations on your rides for next year.
They will be in rides for 2020, and we are super excited to see what the two of them will do on the track. They are very successful drivers, and they deserved a ride.
They do. And congratulations to me for saying Matt's name right there.
Yeah.
Because that is, I tell him all the time, that is a tough last name.
Good job. Well, before 2020 starts, we obviously have to get through the rest of the NASCAR playoffs, and this weekend we are heading to Dover. You can catch all that action on track. It's the opening race for the NASCAR playoffs round of 12 coming up on NBCSN Sunday 2:30. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss that. And also, we thank you guys so much for tuning in and for sending in your questions. Continue to do so
Keep doing
with
it.
hashtag the InField and hashtag Ask Alex and Sam. And you never know, you might see yourself on here. So see you guys next week. We appreciate you tuning in. And we
See
swear
you right
we'll
back
be
here
here.
at the infield. We will be here. We'll stay with you.
And we're not going to match.
No.